Have you ever been asked, what do you want? And your answer is, I don't know. It's one of the most frustrating things in the world because you do desire to have the answer to the question that you have been asked, but you just simply don't know the answer to it. If you have fallen trapped to the I don't know dilemma, this video is for you. On one side, we're going to look on the trap that you are setting up for yourself. And on the other side, I also want to look on how to avoid it. Before we jump into the actual video, I want to mention that in the description box now there is a link with all the resources that I'm going to share throughout the videos, so you don't have to, search for the right video but have it all in one place. Let's start with the trap that you are setting up for yourself whenever you say, I don't know. I actually already touched on this one on the visualization video about how your brain is going to respond to any command or question that you give it. I'm gonna link it down below so you can have a look at it if you want. Basically, the principle is that your brain is going to respond to whatever instruction you give it. Every time you say, I don't know, your brain is going into that state of blank, of literally not knowing. Not because it doesn't know, but because it has received this command of, oh, I don't know, so I don't have the answer. And it kind of shut off all information that you might potentially have. Now you might be wondering, well, what if I really don't know the answer to this question? Even if you don't know the answer to it, try to use another phrase instead of I don't know. Because if you use the phrase I don't know, you're also taking away the option of figuring it out. Instead, what you could say, for example, is, well, I'm not sure or not 100% certain. Let's go with the example that you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. And someone comes up to you and asks, well, what do you like doing? And your answer is, I don't know. You're literally taking away all the things that you do know about what you like or you could potentially like. If instead you use the phrase of I'm not sure or I'm not 100% certain, you can give like a little bit of information that you do know. For example, I really like helping people or I really enjoy drawing. And with that you have the breadcrumbs that will eventually lead you to the ultimate answers that you are seeking. In that case, figuring out what it is that you want to do with your life. This actually goes also with very simple questions. For example, if someone asks you, what do you like for dinner? And you're like, I don't know. You're basically shutting off your whole brain in having any information that could potentially have the answer. If instead you answer with the phrase, I'm not sure, you're opening up the possibility for a dialogue or a discussion that the back and forth will lead you to the actual answer that you are seeking. If we talk about the example of figuring out what it is that you want to do with your life, you're taking away all the bits that you already do know. For example, you like drawing and you like working with people. So you already do have some information, even though you don't know the specific answer to the question. Another thing that you can do is exploring. And I talk a lot about exploring, but it's so important. I can't stress it enough. Nothing beats exploring when it comes to figuring out what it is that you want and who you are and what you like and what you dislike. Regardless of what question someone might ask you, from do you like this food to what do you want to do with your life, and your answer is I don't know, you gotta go and start exploring, because once you start doing it or trying it out, you will know if this is something that you want or not. The last point that I want to share with you is do not think too far ahead, especially if it comes to big questions like what do you want to do with your life. It can be very overwhelming because it's like such a big question and there's so many things to consider. So thinking too far ahead, like what do I want to do with the rest of my life, can just be too much. So the best thing to do is to just think about the next step. In that case, it would be figuring out what you like and what you dislike, instead of trying to answer the question of what to do with your life. Even though you do keep the ultimate goal in mind of why you're taking those steps, but it's not about, oh, I need to find that one step that would lead me to the ultimate destination. It's just about figuring out the next step, which is also one of the traps when it comes to the I don't know. It's like trying to jump the steps that are in between. Math is actually a great example for this one. So if you have like a complicated calculation, you have to take steps in between to get to the result. And it's the same if you're trying to answer like big questions of what to do with your life. you need to take the steps in between. To wrap it up, if you really don't know the answer to a question, big or small, first change your answer from I don't know to I'm not sure. Once you have done that, think of all the bits and the parts that you do know. And lastly, think about the next step that you need to take to get the ultimate answer that you seek. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below if you liked it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and I see you in the next one.